What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast, which is soon to turn into the Travis and Seal Rec League podcast because there's not real sports going on in about a week. Seal, how you doing, bud?
I am doing great. I just want to start off by apologizing. I will get fuzzy. You might hear kids. This needs to be tamed. I see now on a
It's a
camera.
playoff beard a little early.
This is getting rough. But I am happy. I am excited. I am almost a decade into being a father. This ugly old kid over here is about to be 10, the blonde-haired one. So yeah,
The one
we're
that
out.
looks exactly like you. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, the ugly one. But yeah. Anyways, we're having a great time.
And he acts
We're
like
chilling.
you. Fights
Yeah.
back.
We have a small little room and we're all hanging out in, but it's a great time. We're living it up and it's vacation.
Hey.
Yeah, my knees are hurting for vacation.
Hey, vacations are a fun time when you get to look back on them, but when you walk forever, if you're somewhere you got to walk, that shit is pretty crazy. But before we get into the only sport that's really going, with all due respect to Women's College World Series, but we knew that was Oklahoma's about 4 months ago when they started.
Yeah.
So, and they won 10-1 tonight to win game one. So they're well on their way. But before we get to the pro basketball, which again is really the only sport going on, this, as I promised you guys last week, was the first week that we both had games. We get to talk a little about it, and we both had really good games. Maybe not us individually. We had okay games, but our teams had good games. Came out a little different, but since I've already had a few games, Seal, why don't you start with your game? How'd you guys do, bro?
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I was really, really, really excited going into this just because it's been a long time. I already talked about since I've done any kind of league, anything, any type of sport. So for it to be basketball, probably my favorite sport to play. Definitely probably my best sport to play. This day and age, I couldn't see me trying to get out there and play football, get cracked one time and be done. But to see that I could still contribute was really awesome to see. We all know, if you know me, I can shoot lights out, but my shot is a little ugly. So to be able to keep it up, literally like keep it up from back in the day, throwing it from my waist, I was a little worried about. But yeah, we did good. I went officially 3 for 6, but one was a last second heave trying to get fouled. We were up 15. I was the asshole that shot at the end of the fourth quarter, but I waited till somebody was on me and he smacked the shit out of my arm to let me know we don't do that here, big fella. But and then I hit a half court shot. So officially 3 for 6, unofficially 3 for 4. I did airball a corner 3. But yeah, it was awesome. We do have a good team. I have talked to you about it. People say on paper we're probably the better team. We have a lot of size, and our big guys aren't scared to get big. They're not those big guys that we're used to sitting out on the 3, just wanting to be the big guy that shoots 3s all day. Excuse me. I'm probably the big guy who won't get in there, being 6 foot tall, but I can't jump. I don't have knees. I did get a huge tip out rebound on on our free throw to give us a 3-point play because he got fouled. And it might have been an and one or something, but it was they were coming back on us, a huge tip out rebound to get 2 more points on the board. And the guy I got it over was the rookie workhorse down low that the commish wrote up and talked about. And I was on the commish's ass about that one. We just bullied him down low on one possession. He fell over trying to flop. And I went right to the commission. I was like, you said that was a beast?
Does your league say who the rookies are? Like, do they have a little R on the website or anything?
Yeah.
If not, you should tell the commission to do that. Oh, okay.
So there is a list. There might be one of the
But
first
is it on the
things you look at.
stats thing though?
No,
Or is it a different?
You would have to go and look at.
I wish they could do like
I have a list.
star.
I'll send you a picture.
Well, no,
of the
I know
list.
that, but just if they could do like a little R in parentheses or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would
Like
be cool.
how the NBA does it. I don't know how hard it would be to edit in the actual website to do that, but
I don't think it would be hard, but that's like a little tidbit note that I could give to him for the future though, for sure. That's cool. I like that. But now I think I believe this one kid, Chris Withers, is a rookie as well. I'm not sure if he is. I don't think so. Maybe he is, but he had like 23 points on the worst team. So if he gets rookie of the year, I'm gonna be pissed. Like, you put me on that team and I can get 23 play. If I'm the only option,
right,
I got
right.
you, bro. The kid's 6'2", 6'3". and he just gets in there and jumps and gets
Yeah,
fouled.
I'm looking at trying to see the next highest scorer on their team had 3 points. Not even kidding.
Yeah, the Bucks.
Yeah, so he had 21. The next highest guy had 3.
Yeah, they scored 37 the whole game. We had 35 going into halftime.
right. One
Yeah.
guy scored 33. That dude for the Spurs.
Yeah, on the Spurs. Yeah, he was the number 1 overall pick. Cooper, you're killing me, dude. I know what you're trying to do, but he was the number 1 overall pick. He is the worst team player in the world, bro. Like, it was funny as hell. Like, they're all shooting around, right? Then so each team has a owner, GM, coach guy, right? It's their team. They drafted the team. They take responsibility for making sure they get all the orders for the jerseys going. They get everybody together when needed. And so without them, they really don't have a team. Me and you were like, oh, we could run the team. It's a little bit of dedication in our league to do it. So each person drafts the team and all that stuff. I kind of forgot where I was going with this one. Oh, yeah. So their guy is awesome. Like, I can't pick a team. Like, everybody was like, what the hell is this kid doing when he picked his team? Apparently the Spurs guy. But he's like, all right, guys, let's get in the layup line. This guy just kept jacking up threes.
Really?
Yeah, kept one of the balls. So they were doing a layup line with 1 ball instead of 2. And whenever he told him to bring it in before the game, still out there just getting a shot warmed up, getting ready to go. At the end of the quarters, he would go and talk to his homies on the sideline and chill. And the halftime didn't see anything about what the team was wanting to do. Yeah, it was hilarious. Like, if there's any team that can have 2 guys score more than him, it's a wrap. Because I mean, I love you, Pat. I love you, Jovan. But there's nobody on that team that's going to be able to put up 15 points. I mean, I could be wrong. Hey, Spurs, you could prove me wrong, but there's nobody on the team that's going to do that in my eyes.
You're putting up bulletin board material, baby. I already like it. But no, it's funny. I'm looking at the stats, and everybody that's like the top 5 players in the league, at least after week 1, have pretty solid stats across the board. And you see
it's the
him,
bigger guys.
And he's got 33 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, no assists.
Yeah.
And then, like, for reference, your guy Scott has 24 points, 16 boards, a fucking beast, and 5 assists. Like, he's scoring, but he's also getting other people involved, which is obviously what.
And that was the thing. I don't know if they have our team stats out, but I feel like a lot of our buckets were assisted, whereas a lot of guys, a lot of teams are ISO. We have 1 or 2 guys, but we actually started trusting in each other. I mean, if I would have even got a free throw or something, there only been 3 of us in double digits, and the next guy had 4. I think Joe did. But
you guys had 15 assists, so it doesn't say really, because it says 15 assists on 8 made baskets, which is obviously not true. So they haven't updated all the made baskets, but 15 assists is pretty good.
But yeah, that's probably just the threes, I think, that they attribute for, or the free throws is the made baskets.
Oh yeah, it's free throws. The field goals say 0 right now.
Yeah, they're not doing that this year. They're not doing shooting percentage. They're just keeping track of free throws. Because it was just way too hard. You were having to keep looking at the stat sheet, and at the end of the day, nobody's getting paid to do it. So yeah, but yeah, it's awesome. And I wish they would. And I wish I would have known they didn't do that whenever I went to hook up that 3-pointer or the half court shot, because I thought about it for a second, which made me give up 7-8 feet of not running towards the basket. I looked up and saw 2 seconds. I was like, yeah, actually, why not? If I would have looked up and saw 2 seconds, I could have got 15 feet down the damn court.
Yeah, so no, that's really cool. That I just love that you guys have all the stats and stuff. Much like Eddie, to a lesser extent, I'm a stat nerd.
I think
so
eventually you're going to see our old muggers up there, where it has the leaders, it has the weekly slots. Leaders. Yeah, they took ours because we were the first game of the season, so they took ours and the Grizzlies pictures, and I don't think they stuck with it for the other ones. Gotcha. But maybe eventually they'll get to doing that. That'd be hilarious I tried to be serious, but I didn't have my headband on or anything. He just caught me off guard, and I just looked over and tried to stare like this.
That's kind of what they do in our league, but they only do it for the player of the game, or the player of the night. I mean, so they get a picture for Instagram for the player of the night every
I thought we
night.
Would do like player of the week or something, but I didn't see anything like that. Just the leader in threes, rebounds, and assists and stuff like that.
Well, our game went slightly less good. Obviously, we've talked about it already. Our team is not what your team is. We don't have championship hopes. We're trying to grind, and we're the process. If you guys are the Warriors, I know you don't want to be the Warriors, but if you guys are the Warriors, then we're the 76ers. We're just trying to go through the process. Well, who else could you be while the 76ers were going through the process? The Warriors were winning, bro.
I don't know. Damn it. Let's say the Suns were in it right now. I want to be the Suns.
Okay. Well,
Before
okay.
they see, we haven't won a chip yet. I don't think Scott's won a chip yet.
Okay. All right. So you guys can be like,
I don't think anybody on our team has won a chip before.
oh, well, yeah. So you guys are a team that's expected to win. You guys are a team that put a good draft together. You're a good team. We're a team of scrub nobodies. We were the Big Green. If you guys watched that movie a long time ago, we're the guys that didn't have a team. So we all got put on the same team. And so we're slowly starting to gel. It's working out. We were playing an undefeated team with the second leading scorer in the league. He actually scored 27 of their 56 points. So we didn't really stop him all that much, but he was good. He's really good. But we were focused on stopping everybody else. We held them to 56, which was their lowest thing ever. But 3 seconds before they had 56, we were up 55-54 shooting because they were fouling at the end of the game. So we had a 1-and-1. We missed the front end of the 1-and-1. They got a rebound, called a timeout, got it into their boy. Shout out to him, though. His name's Chris. He's really good. I tried to defend him and he was just schooling me. But he runs to the baseline. He does this fall away Kobe over the backboard shot at the buzzer. Literally the thing of movies. It rattled around the rim, went in. So props to him. But I mean, we had our hands in the space. We lost by 1 to an undefeated team. Of course, he got player of the night for that. So we lost to the player of the night. But to see the way my first week, we lost by 31. And so we're slowly moving up, and now we're losing by 1 to the well, right now the top ranked team in the league. I don't think they'll end with the top ranked team in the league, but right now they are. So we played a lot better. We're playing better every single week. We signed another guy, so we now have 7, so we can actually run a little bit harder, which is great. Which awesome. Made me be able to play on offense. So I did hit a couple threes. Trash talked a dude on accident.
That was awesome.
That was man, it was so cool because I didn't mean to, and if you guys know me, like I trash talk my friends and I'll say like stupid jokey things, but I don't actually ever try to shit talk people. Like I told one of the guys on a free throw to try to get a rebound over me without jumping, like stupid stuff like that, but I don't ever like shit talk people. So this guy comes dribbling down on me and he loses the ball out of bounds because the ball was sweaty, and he goes, "Man, the ball's really wet." And so I'm dribbling down the other way. The very next possession, he's guarding me. I shoot it right in his eye and I go, "Oh man, that shit is wet." And it swishes, bro. And his teammate that was right next to him goes, "Oh shit." And the guy was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "No, the ball is fucking wet. Seriously."
It's
but
actually wet.
If it would have been you would have rolled with it. It would have been great.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But I don't try to get under people's skin like that. I try to have fun out there, but I mean, that is the way that a lot of people have fun. But
I'm noticing, like, I'm definitely there. Like, I'm in the moment. I'm like yelling. I'm not per se shit talking, but I can't even really hear what else would be like. What else is being said? Like, if I don't hear like screams, other like switch certain things, like running back some of the tape. Baby girl can attest to this. Hours of watching the same 40-minute game because nice. I was drinking Jameson on the rocks all night out celebrating.
By the way, that cameraman needs a little bit of work. He needs a little.
Hey, he's a commish. He can do whatever he wants to. He's the reason this league is running 10 years strong and as good as it is.
He's filming. That's better than any other league I've ever seen in my life.
Like we are able to actually stream every single game. I will never tell the commish anything except I'm rookie of the year. Which he's
not a cameraman, but hey, that he's doing the Lord's work out there filming you guys. It's great.
Yeah, but forgot where I was going with this again.
You said you can't hear anything else.
Oh yeah, I can't hear anything else. So when I was running it back on one of my threes, you can hear this one guy going, "Money, money, money," and I couldn't hear. If I would have heard that, I'd be like, "You damn right, boy, catch me outside with that one." Like I would have just been going nuts. Like I love that shit, but
I had them say I
would have not even heard that kid say that the ball was wet.
I hit a 3. It was actually right after that 3, I think. I was running back and the ref was like, "Oh, they better stop giving you that." I was like, "Yeah, that's right." The ref said that shit. It was great. But that was it. I only hit the 2 threes all night. I was 2 for 4. One of them was worse than an air ball, dog. Like, how can you be worse than an air ball, you ask? I was wide open from the top of the key. It hit the side of the backboard so hard it shot at a 90-degree angle sideways. I shot it. I said, off left, 4. I yelled 4 because it shot off, dude. It was so bad. I wish it would have just been an air ball, but it was.
That's awesome. My buddy shot a 3 in the game after mine, and I stood up and I was like, backboard, and it went over the backboard.
Mine hit the side of the backboard right at the edge and it shot off.
And the kid who scored the 33 points was like, that ain't no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Didn't pass him the ball the rest of the game, and he played probably like 8 more minutes. It was hilarious. It was like, if I would have got drafted to, if I ever get, because I want to play in this league for a while. If I get drafted to a team with this kid, I'm not saying his name, but you know who I'm talking. You can see his name.
Yeah.
If I ever get drafted to a team with him, I probably will never show up. I will ask for my money back, or I'll
go steal the ball from him. Just go over there and just take it from him.
Holy shit, those are frozen.
Yeah, the hotel mini fridges can get cold, bro.
Yeah. Need to leave it open for a little bit.
You got to put it is it near the front or is it on the back?
It's on the top, but there was no ice up there.
Oh, I heard.
I don't know. That's like some Twin Peaks shit.
Well, so we both had pretty good games. It was pretty fun to get back in the scoring column because, like I said last week, I've been just playing defense. So I'm really happy that we had an extra sub. I could play a little offense, get a couple of my shots off. I'm feeling a lot better. I held true to my promise. I went out 3 times last week. And it's starting to feel good. It's starting to feel better. I put in a lot of work, and I just downloaded some ball handling drills from the internet that I'm going to do. I bought a book to try to help my knees because, like you, I have no knees, which is why I told that guy to try to get a rebound over me without jumping, which he did do, by the way. So shout out to that guy. I don't know his name, but he stuck his butt into me and didn't jump and grab the rebound. So
yeah, see, the one thing I do have now is heart. Like the one kid on the Grizzlies, that the leading scorer, McCool, I think he put up like 15 clean points in the first half, and I was like, yo, that's a wrap. Like, I got point. And I took him a little bit at first. He wasn't shooting, and then he started taking off when those other 2 guys got there, and we actually got fresh legs, and I was able to sub out. Oh yeah, we had 5 guys the first 10 minutes.
That was us last week.
They were rotating out like every because they knew we only had 5 guys. Yep. Every 2 minutes, every stop ball, they were getting in 2-3 fresh guys.
That was us last week,
fresh
dude.
Legs.
We had 5 for the first 10 minutes and 6 total, and then they had like 10, and they were just rolling.
Every time that door opened, I was like, please be them. Please be them. Because they were pulling up for like 10 minutes. I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But
so
finally, when I got fresh legs, man, I was able to get I already said his name, cool, and kind of tighten him up a little bit. So next week we have the league leader in threes right now, and like I don't have knees. I really can't go like back left, back right.
The lateral shit.
But I can still go lateral. I can still it doesn't look good. It doesn't look great, but I can still get enough. I can still get around screens. I'm just gonna give you the lane all day. That's the only thing. I can't swing my hips.
I foul them. I had 2 fouls last night. When as soon as they start driving, I just grab them.
I got Zach down there.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Freaking monster.
I don't. So
and to say a monster, he's like 6'3". Like he's just really springy and plays with a shit ton of grit and a shit ton of heart, which really has made me want to be the same way. And that's like next week we got this guy. I'm gonna let them know, like, I really don't want to be a starter all the time, but let me lock this dude down off rip instead of fucking coming in the second half and locking him down.
Nice. Yeah, our big guy before this week was 6'1". That was our center. So now we got a guy, we just signed him as 6'4". No real experience. He plays at a 24-hour fitness. So he doesn't know the rules, but he understands how to dribble a ball, and he can.
Is it anything like Orlando's 24-hour fitness? Because that place had like semi-pro, like
this
D1
well, this guy is not like them. He literally just picked it up for cardio because he said he hates running on the treadmill, so he just plays the basketball at the rec instead of running on a treadmill. But he was a soccer player, so he's athletic and big.
Okay.
He just doesn't necessarily understand the rules of basketball. So he got called for 3 seconds twice in a row, and we had to tell him what that meant and shit. But he helps us out a lot, which is really good. So now I can let people drive by me. But when they would drive by me, I just grab them. Shoot, I got 6 of them. Give them to me. So,
Yeah, we have 6 as well, which helps out a lot,
yeah.
especially with me like to try to press people when they try to pass and rip their wrist.
Mm. No, I play pretty chill defense. I get your hand in your face because these kids ain't shooters. We're in the D3 league. There's the highest league, then there's D1, 2, and 3. So it's like the 4th league. So it's great. I like playing with these guys, and I'm working my way up, and then I'm gonna carry this league, and then I'll move up to the D2 or something. See what
Hopefully
happens.
you'll be able to move out here in the next couple of years, come back to
Yeah,
Florida
fucking right, dog.
and come around me. What do you
Right.
mean? You'll save on rent? Probably. I live in the hood.
You think Courtney would live in the hood, dog? Get out of here. We'd be in some fucking mansion
Yeah.
for the same
I mean,
rent.
there's literally a mile and a half down the road, like $3,000 intercoastal front, like
Yeah,
condos.
that would be where we are.
Yeah, well, you're still right down the road from me, Bubs.
No, we would never.
Which is
go to
crazy
Florida,
because you
bro.
have to either way you go, you're going to see a little bit of hoodness to get to the gloriness of Singer Island, Florida, where the breakers are. Where what's her name? I mean, she's on dang it. Modern Family. The
Which one?
Spanish lady. The
Oh,
hilarious lady.
Sofia
We'll talk a lot.
Vergara.
Yeah. She got married there like right when I moved here. And I was like, holy cow, because we went and picked up one of the stupid friends I used to have, one of his friends from high school. He was in town at the Breakers. And I just was like, oh, cool, the Breakers, a place on an island. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is some fancy type shit.
Yeah, so that's what the first part of these pods are probably going to be now. We play a tough team this coming up week, so I don't know if I'll be excited to talk about it next week. We'll have to talk about you shutting down the 6-3s guy.
I hope so. I mean, and
We're
after
playing a
this
tough
one,
team.
we have a pretty easy road
Mm.
for a while. We have a bye week after this one. And then after that's 4th of July. So I think we have 2 weeks off in a row. And then we play what's supposed to be the bottom 2 and the Bucks and the Sixers. And then the last week we have the Warriors, which we're supposed to see in the finals apparently. So
Nice.
yeah, we're gonna be able to
And you
get
said they
some.
were the team that was off this week?
Yeah, they're off this week and they have like shooters, bro. This when I tell you this kid Milk, he's like, I don't know if he's albino or if he's white. He's white. But he can shoot, bro. Remember that kid Chris from Interlochen?
Yeah.
How he was wet, but if he took 2 steps out, we would let him shoot it because he was short or he was off the
Right.
backboard and he would either make glass or he was short. That was the only 2 things he was doing. This kid can literally go from like logo Steph type range, like not
Jeez.
half court, but like 2-3 steps in from half court. He's still like if he's on, he's on. And the tapes that I've watched on him is an outdoor double rim court. Now we're
Yeah.
inside on a nice ass court. And he was there just shooting around a little bit. And dude has great form. He's able to plant that fucking off foot and get up in the air and shoot from anywhere, dude. And it's fun to see. But oh man, if we got that in the finals for 3 games, best of 3, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah. I got there.
There's 2 other ones too, apparently.
I got there a little early, and the team that was there playing has a guy kind of the same way. At least it looked like it. So at least we'll know. Like, that's what's cool. We don't have full stats, but they release the top 5 scorers of the league so every standings has the top 5 scorers from that week, and then the top 5 scorers from the whole league as a whole. So I can kind of figure out who we're going to play and what we got to do, or who we got to stop. Cause I'm pretty much the coach on the floor, especially when I get subbed out. When I get subbed out, I am yelling. You could probably hear it in my voice. I was coughing up a storm today just because I'm not yelling so much. So my team wants me to be that now. It seems they're listening to me. So I'm going to do that as much as I can. Just try to be a captain in every aspect of the game, because it's helping. You know, I don't want to ever be the guy that gets on people's nerves, but if they're listening, they're being nice about it, and they tell me to keep talking. So I'm going to keep talking.
Yeah, that's dope. We had something the other day. I tried to sub this guy out just because he wasn't running around. I felt like he was tired. He's like, no, I'm good. I was like, all right, whatever. And literally next possession down, Joe tried to sub him out. He's like, oh, I'm good. And Joe looks at me. He's like, yo, 1 minute, dude. And I was like, because he's not running. He's like, yeah, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, I don't know.
If somebody on the like you were on the bench,
Yeah.
if the bench says I'm subbing, I'm like, all right, cool, bet I'm
Yeah.
out.
Like
Because
you
they
can
obviously
see,
are seeing shit that you're
yeah,
not seeing.
and one of them after I hit that big three, we come down, they hit it off of us out of bounds, and dude wanted to come in. I was like, yo, let's go, let's get it going. And I went
Yeah.
right out right after hitting a three. Like, I don't need to stay on.
Yeah.
I'll get some fresh legs, let me get my legs back to me so I can go down and bang another one in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. But nah, this kid's a little prideful. He's one of those kids you could tell that was probably worried about his minutes coming in to this, and doesn't think he's going to get many. So when he's on,
That was
he's
me
not
back
gonna
in the
wanna
day,
get
but
off.
not anymore, bro.
And I've never really been like that. Like, yeah, I want, like I've said, I'd rookie of the year. I want to be sixth man. Like I want all these things, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to win this chip, bro.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to say, like, yeah, I'm in this league and I'm on the best team in the league.
Yeah.
Like that's what I wanted at the end of the day. Like, yeah, it would be cool to be like, yeah, guys, look at my little 3-inch tall best sixth man of the year. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, I always wanted to start, which I always was a starter because, like, what was the other option? Dustin Humbert. Fuck that. I was always trying to start. I was always trying to play as long as I could. But now I'm just like, fuck it, dude. Like, everybody's here to have fun. It's a rec league. We're just having fun. So I'm giving people the time of day. If they want it, man, go get it. Just call on me when you're ready, and I'm gonna come try to hit some shots. So
yeah, like at the end of the day, we're all paying money,
yeah,
but we have a purpose, bro. Like our team has a fucking purpose, and it's not to go out there and have fun. If y'all want to have fun, let's go play after the game. Like we can go have fun after.
yeah. Ours is to be the process. Like the process is really the best analogy for us because we're just trying to build a team. You know, last season they played and they only had 5 guys. They went 1-7. I got brought in this season. Now we brought in a 7th guy. We're just slowly trying to build this program up, and now we've lost 3 single-digit games out of 4 games. Like I said, we had that 130 point.
And
Just
your first
shit.
week, y'all had 4 points up to you getting subbed in.
Yeah, at
Like,
like
so
12 minutes
Y'all
into the game.
are scoring too.
So yeah, we're getting better. So that's what we're trying to do. We're not looking at this season like you guys are. It's really cool because we'll be able to tell the listeners like the two opposite spectrums. You guys are going for the win. We're going for the long haul, which that's the way your league is set up with the redraft every year. So it's pretty cool. And ours is more of a dynasty type league. So, all right. So we've been talking for a long time. Let's get into real sports now. And I was intentionally waiting a little bit because the fourth quarter just started, but the Celtics went on a little bit of a run now. So they're trying to close out. But let's talk a little bit about this. The first 2 games have happened. The same kind of game for 3 quarters happened. It was close for the first half. Warriors jumped out and dominated the third quarter, but the fourth quarters were very different in the 2 games because the fourth quarter in game 1, the Celtics just blew them out completely. And the fourth quarter in game 2, Steph Curry was sitting on the bench because they were up 30. So how are these games so lopsided one way or the other? What's happening?
Well, I mean, it's who on the Celtics has been playing longer than the last time the Warriors won a chip. I mean, not a lot of these. I mean,
Smart,
they
I
were
think
all
that's
like
it.
Smart. It was 2018, right? The last time they won a chip, and this
Yeah.
was when Smart, Jalen, and then we're on their first real run, and they haven't really been back since. And like they're young. These guys are young as hell. And Steph has what 10 years now. Draymond 9, Clay 8. Like
Yeah.
these guys have been in the league for a long time, and they're used to this shit. Like we see Draymond's antics. We saw him get into it with Greg Williams earlier in the game tonight. We all know we don't have to go in the whole Jaylen Brown should he been teched up again thing. Yeah, but it's Draymond. We all know what happened in 2016 when he got teched up and got suspended.
And the refs got told, don't let that shit happen.
Yeah, that swung the whole thing. Like, do you think the NBA wanted LeBron to get that chip? No, they did not. There was so much more money in that California region. They never wanted LeBron to get that chip in Cleveland. That's a small market. That parade brought them no money. There was no sponsorship towards the NBA and any of that in Cleveland. Like, yeah, they made so much money in that area in Cleveland, but that's about it. There's not a big market for the NBA. And so, yeah, for Cleveland to win that championship, they were like, yo, we can't have the refs do that anymore. That cannot happen. And that for that to be talked about on air during the game, that was I knew it was going to affect something eventually, talking about Draymond getting suspended for that game 4, where we started coming back, went 3-2, climbed back, and ended up winning the championship. But I knew that was going to come back one way or another to start affecting these playoffs and these finals and how these refs even more loosely called these, because we see in our rec leagues all the time, we get gimme fouls left and right. Listen, I saw you smack his wrist. I didn't blow the whistle. So next time I saw him do something to you, I couldn't call it. I had that in my head. Like refs will literally tell us that. Like he had a gimme foul on you. Like they'll tell you, like you fucked up. I didn't call it. They had a gimme on you. I understand that. I can deal with that. But we're paying to play. We're not getting paid to play. We're not getting bet on. Like there's so much money that's up in the air with all of these things. We can't get it left to these guys who are making $150,000 a year, who are humans that we all know aren't perfect, are never going to be right. Or even when we go to the VR, it's left up to the refs at the end of the day. And half of these sports, so at least in the NBA, we're able to see it, and that most of the time they can get it right. We saw in MLS, you want to leave it up to the officials up in the booth, it's not going to get overturned.
Doesn't work.
In NFL, you're going to challenge a ref's decision to
the
go
MLB
to another ref?
has never won
Get
a
outta here.
challenge. I'm pretty sure going into this year, I don't know what's happened this year, but in 2021, 0 successful challenges
You
in the
can't tell-
MLB.
Travis is never going to say that I did a podcast by myself and it sucked. Like you're not going, a ref isn't going to tell a ref that he was wrong.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. So like it is what it is. But at the end of the day, you can't have this stuff happen. Like we see Scott Foster when he's in games with Celtics this postseason, they're like 12-0. But when there's this other guy, I forget his name, they're 3-9. Like it cannot happen. So I appreciate they didn't call the tech, but at the end of the day, you kind of gotta find a way to be able to ref Draymond in these series, because we're not watching it right now, but I guarantee you he was trying to do something to not go down 11.
Oh, for sure. So how would you ref Draymond? Like if it were you, I mean, obviously you try to ref him fair, but how would you
start
ref
with ticky-tack fouls
antics
with him? You have to start with the ticky-tack fouls.
So you'd call him though. You'd call him on everything.
Yeah, like you can't let him get going right when you see him start grabbing the jersey, when people are pulling away from, like whenever he gets a rub screen off of him, when he tries to pull on the jersey, you start calling that. You can't let Draymond think that he has an inch, because we all know with Draymond, if he has an inch, he'll take a mile.
Yeah,
So
he'll pull down somebody's pants completely.
Yeah, you can't let him have any. If he gets 2 early fouls, hey, listen, now we don't have to worry about Draymond until later in the second quarter. And hey, if he gets 3 in the first half, now we don't have to wait until the third quarter. And you deal with him that way. You start dealing with him tight, don't deal with him loose. And we see once he's going into these later quarters with nothing, he doesn't care. And we also see he doesn't give a damn if he gets a tech in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
He's down to keep his feet on people's heads. He's down to push you around. He's down to try to pull down your pants. Draymond's going to be Draymond.
He thinks it helps them win the game, which I'm sure in some weird way it does. They're ready for it, but
if we had a guy on my team, like if Rob,
he wouldn't.
If our guy Rob, who's like averages 5 minutes a game in the league, maybe 2 points a game, but 1,000,000% spirit. If Rob was out there doing that shit, I'm going out there trying to put up 50 for my guy doing that for me. Absolutely, it helps the team.
So that's why he does it. So he's going to keep doing it. And honestly, he doesn't even care if he gets ejected. He cares if he gets suspended, but he doesn't care if he gets ejected. Like if he's whatever.
He's not for,
because an ejection helps out the team, just like you said, but a suspension doesn't. So he's trying not to get suspended, but he doesn't care about getting a double tech and getting out of there. Especially if it would have got Jaylen Brown out too. Shit, that's a win.
Yeah, and isn't that crazy now in the NBA? I mean, I'm sure we're probably speaking out of context here, or out of pocket, or whatever the term is for being wrong nowadays with the
out of pocket. I think is good.
But like, is it easier to get tech out than tech out? You have to get.
Think so. Yeah.
You have to get issued a double tech in the NBA to get thrown out.
No. You get 2 techs. I mean, you
can get teched up one time and thrown out, or is it teched up double time?
Well, no, if you get teched up one time and thrown out, it's a double tech. They can do it immediately, but you get 2 techs for it.
Okay,
Like it
so
counts as
either
two
way,
techs.
you're fucked in the finals
Yeah.
because in the playoffs, so many techs.
Yeah,
And
Dre's got to be near like 6 or 7.
Draymond's nowhere near peak prime 2016 Draymond going into the finals with 8 fucking techs either.
Right.
So I think he's got a couple in his pocket.
He knows exactly how many he has in his pocket. He knows what he can do.
Absolutely.
So that's what he's going to do. But so far, it has not worked out for them this year or this game. It's going to end up being close, and we know that. But Dre only has 2 points and 5 fouls, so it's not. He's not doing anything right now. But Steph and Clay
what's Clay
are.
doing?
Huh?
What's Clay doing?
Clay stepped
Oh,
up.
Clay's actually doing something now.
He's not shooting great. He's still not shooting like game 6 Clay that we're used to, but he's got 25 points. He's still 5 for 12, which is what, 40%. So that's not too bad. But like he doesn't normally, you don't expect him to shoot 50-40, right? Like you expect him to be 60.
But I don't think we ever get that back. Like we were talking about with this Milk kid being able to plant and go up. That's what Steph can do that from anywhere.
Right.
And Clay seems to have lost a little bit of that. We see it once he loses space, he just quits. He goes away. Back in the day, he's still standing there with his hands up because if he gets an inch of separation, Clay can rise up over you and get that shot off. It's not happening nowadays.
But Clay has a slower
like
release than Steph does, and he always has. But
he's always been able to get up. I don't know if somebody's ever went and did a before and after side by side of his release and his jump shot and all that stuff. But from what I see, it's just he's not able to get that space that he's used to getting because we're used to seeing people that game 6 Clay, what was it, third quarter Clay, where he dropped 40 points or something, like 8-3. It looked like some 2K type shit.
I think he had 7 threes in one quarter or something.
He had more threes than he had steps or something.
Yeah. He had like 14 threes with 12 dribbles, I think, in one game or something like that.
And that's when you could literally, as long as your hand's in his face and not hitting his elbow or the ball, it was going in. It was going in. And his injury was 2 years out of basketball. 2 years not being able to do anything. If he ever is able to get to himself again, he's going to be 32, 33 years old. And that's way past his prime. So we're going to see this Clay more often than not. So in my opinion, this is something we need to get used to, and he needs to be more adaptive with the skill set that he has now and become that Brandon Seal, sit on the 3, shoot it when you're open, and stop trying to go inside. And he still has it on defense. He can still get lateral. He's still a defensive presence.
Right.
He just needs to be able to get more off of that instead of sitting back and relying on himself to be able to catch and shoot in front of anybody's face.
Got you. So he needs to just be like he can age like Ray Allen though and be totally fine.
Ray Allen could still pop up fucking 25, 30 inches though and get a shot off.
But he stopped like sprinting around and running off of screens and stuff. He kind of just stood in a corner and waited.
His
his biggest moment of all time was standing
he backpedaled.
There.
But he
took like one step back.
He backpedaled
because Bosch got a rebound and he like took a couple steps back.
I'm getting sick thinking
and then
about
caught
that.
it.
Yeah, but he backpedaled. He was still able to move around.
Yeah.
But Clay just doesn't seem comfortable moving around with his legs and his knees and stuff right now. It's just
Clay would have taken a mid-range too and gone to overtime.
Bang.
So there's still 6 minutes left. So if you are a Warriors fan and you guys come away with a win, I'm not trying to disrespect you, but it's an 11-point game with 6 minutes left. So for the sake of the conversation, let's assume it's 2-1 Boston.
Real quick. Yeah. I'll take a little filler real quick. Talk about this for a second. We didn't shout it out last week. I want to do it while I'm thinking about it before I forget again.
Yeah.
Gators commentator, Mike. Oh my goodness.
Mick, come on, bro.
I know. Mick Huber. He hung it up after the girls' South Carolina game 2 weeks ago. Now 10 days, 2 weeks ago almost. Hung him up. Decided out of nowhere pretty much that he was going to be a retire. His contract was for 2 or 3 more years, and he was looking to extend that. There was no thoughts of him being done. He's only like 60 something, which is crazy. When I saw his age.
He's been doing it for what, like 40 years, right?
Yeah.
So
and he's been the Gators commentator since like 91, 92.
Yeah.
So to think that he's only in his 60s, you're like, what the hell? But yeah, he just said, hey, God called me away from this, and I listened. And so shout out to him for that. But man, I can't think of a basketball shot going in a college, like in the college tournament, or any NFL play happening, any big play without a oh
No, I don't
my.
think I'll be able to watch the Florida radio network for a football game.
It's gonna suck.
Because what can you don't ever want to be the guy that follows the guy, right? It's always the thing. The guy that followed Steve Spurrier, Ron Zook, was okay, but not great.
Yeah.
You never want to be that guy because
Hey,
you
when
gotta
Zook
have a
finally left,
catchphrase.
we were all sad about it though. That was the
That's what I'm
crazy
saying.
thing.
Like, he was a good coach. He just wasn't. He was following the greatest. So
Yeah.
that's what you don't want to do. So what sort of catchphrase? You can't one up. Oh my! So
Looky
like,
there.
what do you like? The first time this guy gets a kickoff return and he's running, he breaks a couple blocks, and then he gets through 50, and it's just the kicker to beat. What is he gonna say? It's like, I don't know.
Mama, call me now.
Yeah, he's gotta say, and it's gonna be interesting to hear.
Bro, that's gonna catch one day.
It's gonna be interesting to hear whatever that person chooses to go with, because he's got really big shoes to fill, and it's gonna be pretty crazy. But yeah, shout out to him for sure. I was thinking about it too, and then I
He's
forgot.
so tired.
Everybody's sleeping, well, except the boys. They are locked in.
We out here.
But
yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. Like, yeah, we're used to what's his Donald Trump toupee hair looking at Craig, whatever.
What do you say?
No, the CBS guy, the older CBS guy. Craig something, I thought his name was.
Summerall?
But like, he's always, what is that his name? Pat?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's got no.
Pat Summerall's old and retired and probably dead now. I don't know.
Toupee guy. But anyways, the guy that does all the CBS games with the younger dude with the horse teeth. But like, we're all used to that with the CBS games. But for those of us who are used to traveling around on Saturdays and having to put it on the radio station or going back to look at clips and stuff like that, every Florida clip, since internet clips were created,
yeah, literally since internet,
has used his radio bites,
right?
And to listen to him on the radio with dad, listening to night games, going to Lori's, singing and stuff, and being there sitting in the car while she's performing and listening to the game, and that his voice will always resonate. And it sucks, man. Like, it's something that we were treated to, and now that it's abruptly gone, like, this is another one of those things, kind of like Kobe. Like, we were really getting into his detail, and starting to enjoy it, but didn't really appreciate it enough to be like, damn, now it's gone. Like, this sucks.
No, my dad, I remember the reason I don't know any of those CBS announcers, because my dad would turn on the TV and he'd mute it and turn on the radio.
That's dope.
And we'd listen. So we would, like, I think the radio was behind because we'd see something happen, and then my dad would be like, oh, something's about to happen. Let's listen. And we'd listen to it. Every game, I think we had on mute with the radio on. So that's something we definitely enjoyed. So it's going to be pretty sad. Like I said, I don't know that I'll be able to listen to. I pretty much have to, because I don't get a lot of Florida games on out here. So we'll see what happens. But it's going to be really weird the first time.
Let's all pray that the Lord calls them back here soon. Like, I'm not even kidding.
I mean, somebody's going to step up. Somebody's going to do really well, and eventually we'll get used to that guy too.
I mean,
but
it is really amazing. Shout out to him, because like, if I was able, he thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, he loves the Gators, and to be able to call those games it wasn't like he was just the football announcer. He was just the basketball, just the baseball. He literally could call sports like nobody else. And he was able to pick a litter, any sport he wanted to do, and to just give that up and do whatever God's calling you to do is absolutely amazing. Is a huge testament. It's great, but the worldly me, the selfish me, really wishes he would put some earplugs in.
For sure. So by the way, speaking of college football, just since we're interjecting,
go Tebow.
Stalling. Yeah, go Tebow. The Hall of Fame class, not the class didn't get announced. The ballot for the voting of the Hall of Fame came out, and Tim Tebow's on it, along with a lot of other big names. Which
I'd totally forgot this happened.
Yeah, what, the Hall of
Since-
Fame?
Yeah, since like what's his name? Worshel.
Danny Warfel?
No, the Georgia running back got it.
Herschel Walker?
Yeah, my mom was going all nuts like 6 years ago. I
Yeah.
totally forgot about it. It's just for me, it's just a place that in Atlanta.
Right. It's weird because we didn't since Danny
Sports
Warfel.
trap.
Since Danny Warfel, we haven't had a Hall of Fame level guy, and until Tim Tebow, and you have to wait 10 years since they've been
But it's-
retired. So
not Tim Tebow's going to lead the front. Sorry, I keep jumping in front of you, but how many guys from that era get in?
well, that's the thing. Did you see the names on this list?
Mm-mm.
It's crazy. Like, I don't know if it's just a set number of people or if it's going to be like a percentage type thing like baseball, because if it's a set number of people, it's going to be really hard. I mean, obviously Tim Tebow's going to go in. He's the first ballot. He set records, first sophomore to
Percy
do
Harvin
everything.
though too has to
Um,
go hand in hand.
But I don't know if he'll be first ballot though, like because of when you
And
look
then
at just the awards.
When you look at Percy Harvin, you got to look at Brandon Spikes.
Well, and then the big question is, does Aaron Hernandez get in? That's got to
He
be
has to,
like,
dude.
because you look at outside of the sports thing, right? Because
We don't know how
on the
college-
field, yeah, he's a college.
Is he
Hall of
on the
Fame.
ballot for this one or no?
No, did he graduate with Tebow, or is he 1 year later?
I think he's 1 or 2 years later, actually. Yeah.
So
But,
the Hall of Fame, oh, that's the Hall of Fame class. I missed it, but there's some really good. Alex Smith is on there this year.
yeah.
And it's hard to talk about small school people because Utah sucked, and Alex Smith went 12-0, won the Rose Bowl or whatever one he was in, and did his thing, and then they sucked again. So like, what do you do with like a 1 year snippet? Whereas Tebow
But
is
that's-
all 4 years.
That's the good thing about the College Football Hall of Fame is they're not so recency biased with the shit. They don't
Hmm.
look at the brightest, the newest guy on. They always look at who did the best on the ballot that we have right now in front of us, and they're really able to go through and pick and choose. And I don't feel like we never see in like the media aspect of the College Football Hall of Fame committee getting it wrong. Like a lot of people who deserve it are getting in, and people who feel like they're snubbed at the end of the day after their second or third term end up getting in. Like even looking
Like
at
Ray
Brandon,
Lewis. Ray
Yeah,
Lewis
like-
hasn't made it in yet.
like even but
What?
like a lot of these Gators that are going to end up getting in have 2 chips.
Well, the
on-
Gators that
on
are
their
going to start
shoulders.
getting in are going to start right now, because Tim Tebow was the beginning, right? Like, he got the 2 chips. He got 3 All-Americans. He was the first sophomore to win the Heisman, blah, blah, blah. So he started Florida football on the trajectory. So after this year, as he's the guy, it's going to start trickling in more and more and more people onto the roster, because Tebow was the floodgate, like it's not like Chris Leak is going to be on there. So
Rex, it's crazy that Rex isn't even going to be a thought. If Tebow was never around and they
No.
didn't win those 2 chips, Rex had a great career in college. Great
Yeah.
career. They were going to the Orange Bowl like I think they went to the Orange Bowl 2 years. Like they were doing really fucking good. They just couldn't figure it out for like 2-3 games against the SEC. Always won the championship. Couldn't figure it out to get that record right to be able to get up in the BCS.
So I
It's
finally
crazy.
found the names that ESPN put on here. So Tim Tebow, Alex Smith, Ryan Leaf, which I don't actually know what he did in college, but I know he was drafted really high up.
He-
So
Yeah, he was a beast.
and then they have Justin Blackman is on there. So of course that's a pretty interesting one, because he led Oklahoma State in every single receiving category ever existed, and then he sucked in the NFL. But
Yeah,
it's
and
just
then he
about
showed
college.
that Oklahoma State doesn't care about the devil's lettuce and let him have a habit for his whole college career that he couldn't shake in the NFL that actually cared.
LaMichael James from Oregon. I remember watching him.
Like, dude,
Luke Kuechly's on there. D'Angelo Williams, which is a Memphis guy, which is
yeah.
amazing. I love it.
He
to
was
see
a
the little guys.
monster.
Reggie Bush is on there. Your favorite, because I think you liked the Seminoles back then. Warwick Dunn is on there.
Warwick Dunn was a
Ray Lewis.
monster
Warwick Dunn was a
for
monster.
FSU.
Um,
Holy shit. Who was the quarterback? It was after Winky. He was number 7, tall black dude. He was famous. Like,
yeah,
he
I know who you're
did
talking
good.
about, but I don't remember.
Damn it. But them two on the field together was Ward, I think.
Charlie Ward?
I
No.
think so.
Was it?
I'm pretty positive. But them two on the field were
They were next
fun
level.
as hell to watch.
But that's why I'm saying, like, if it's just a set number of people, like how the NFL does it, that's going to be a lot different than if it's like the MLB, where it's just like you get over 70% of the votes, you're in. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't
But
really know the rules.
there's
but-
so many. It's so many. What was Bubba? The receiver. He could get in.
Caldwell?
Andrew Bubba Caldwell.
Andre, yeah. But
Just because of what he was able to do in the SEC championship, all those big games that he had. Percy Harvin, the Pouncey twins. I already talked about Brandon Spikes, Janoris Jenkins, all these Ahmad Black, like all these guys who had these huge games and all these championship runs. Like that's going to matter when it comes down to it. And I think we could end up having double digits from that 5-6 year span of a Gator football.
it's possible, because we'll see how much rings actually matter, because after that Florida stretch, you're going to have this stretch of just Alabama players getting in if you value rings, like it'll be just Alabama and then an Ohio State guy here, Jameis Winston there, and then more Alabama kids. So I'm not sure how they're going to weigh stuff. I've never seen the credentials or what they want, but nobody that has ever been in the Hall of Fame up to this point has the resume that Tebow has. Because he literally was breaking records. So now that he's eligible, it opens up a new world, because now the Cam Newtons, now all those guys that followed in Tim Tebow's shadow after he planted the field or the flag on the field are going to get a lot of
15 years ago.
stuff. Yeah.
So is it still Herschel and him for best college football player of all time? Or is there anybody that's been able to?
Well, it's funny because when they were talking about Saquon Barkley, they were comparing him to Herschel Walker for obvious reasons. But like and to be fair, Saquon did not match. So that's not what I'm saying. But when he was dominating. So I don't think so, because if they're still comparing him to Herschel, then most people probably think it's Herschel. But Tebow's the most accomplished, the most accolades, all that. Herschel was just the best running back in the world, and nobody could stop him.
Yeah, I mean, not the only reason. I mean, whenever Tebow was in college, everybody was saying he was the greatest college football player of all time. He's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of college football players of all time. But the things he was able to do throwing the football and that opened it up, like, I mean, I know it was very easy with the talent that was surrounded by him and the offensive line that he had that gave him the time and the protection. But I love to say that I could throw a football. I'm gonna be scared of shit when I see 10 SEC teams rushing at me, fucking 50 downs a game, and this kid's literally either running into them or acting like he's running into them to throw a football.
Yeah,
like he was literally responsible for 85% of that offense. Sometimes Percy would come in and do some trick plays and throw the football. Caldwell would come around on the wheel routes and stuff like that. Percy handed off sometimes to him, some handoff plays, but literally Tebow had 80% of the plays, either throwing the ball or running the ball.
Yeah.
That's some scary shit to do. And then to be able to, at the end of the day, win 2 chips, go on runs, and do stuff Herschel wasn't able to do at Georgia. Like, yeah, in those times, it was very easy to say best college football player of all time. And then he goes to the NFL and lays the egg. And we all know Herschel was able to do some pretty damn good things.
Also a great, NFL guy. And that's always going to be in the bias of people. So it's hard to extrapolate out just the NFL or just the college football years, because that's when you see like Ryan Leaf is going to make it in the Hall of Fame, right? And it's like so many people.
He was an Arkansas guy, right?
No, I don't think so. I honestly don't remember where he was. But so many people are going to remember him not being Peyton Manning, right? Like not making it in the NFL. Peyton Manning obviously made it in the NFL. So people are going to remember that. Philip Rivers, I think, took over for Ryan Leaf, right, in San Diego a little.
Washington State.
So it's going to be weird, the biases that people have when they see people
That's
like Ryan Leaf get in and not make any impact in the NFL. So it is what it is. I'm glad that they have it. I'm glad that because basketball just has basketball, right?
Well,
so they allow women, they allow people that were good in college, they allow people that were
the Basketball Hall of Fame is the dumbest thing in the world. They literally allow everybody into it.
Yeah, if you played, you're in.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And I mean, I don't know. There's everybody has their things. Now the NBA All Pro is going to be looked into, considering a new way of voting, which is needed because
it's in contracts, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, but
take it out of people's contracts.
But even without that super max shit that they decided to start doing 5 years ago, when you have a fucking guy who's up for MVP 2 years in a row, and both years he's not first team All Pro, and then Joel Embiid, that's fucking asinine. But that's why I like College Football Hall of Fame. No matter which way they go, if I come out to be wrong with now 10 Gators being in, they usually get it right with the aspect of what you did in your college career. And I'm not worried about the who you are at the end of the day. Like, people are probably still butthurt at all the money they lost in the first 3 years of him being on the team and the money they fucking bet on. They probably don't like how blunt Joel is, or they probably like that Nikolai's from fucking Lebanon and his Serbia was Serbia. But the way like people are, like, it's so stupid how they let these far off writers decide.
Well, the problem is that they don't have 3 front court and 2 back court, or just 5 fucking people. It's a positionless game now. To say that Jokic and Embiid play the same position, so only one of them can make All Pro, is stupid. It's asinine, because like it's just stupid. And because if you were making a team with 5 people, you'd put Jokic and Embiid on it. You wouldn't give a fuck what position they're playing.
Yeah, so what 4 is over them?
Nobody, because who got it? It was Jason Tatum, right? He was the forward. Well, I guess they would have had 2. Well, Giannis obviously, but I think Jason Tatum was the other guy. So because it should have been Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis, and it wasn't. So it's stupid.
And then Steph and Darius Garland.
But to make, fuck you. But to make it be part of the Supermax, have to make an All Pro, that's so dumb, dude.
Well, that's the Players Association signed off on that, because the way they did the contracts 5 years ago is it was meant for 10 people in the league. Like, that's what it was meant for. And now you literally have 30 guys who are eligible for.
Yeah, but that's just because like Zach LaVine has like a huge year, makes 3rd team, and gets to be. Actually, I think Zach LaVine made 1st team or 2nd team, but and gets to be that guy. But let's move on, and let's talk now real quick, because it is officially 2-1 Celtics. Are the Warriors worried, or are they just trying to get one? They'll focus on game 4 and even that series up.
Nah, they're not trying to get. They're definitely worried. I think they were worried coming into this. They were not wanting the Celtics. They would definitely be way more down with Jimmy Butler. Yeah, because after that, who do you have? At the end of the day, with the Celtics team, they're starting to get healthy again, which is weird to say in the finals. They were very banged up the last round. The 2 rounds before that, look at what they were able to do. I mean, like, they didn't go up against any schlacks. They were able to sweep the Nets. They were able to get past Giannis, who was the one person you were scared of.
Yeah.
And then they made the Miami Heat have to rethink their whole thing. Like, we need to find somebody. We have to find somebody else. Like, Kyle Lowry has to get like in South Florida. The Heat are scratching their heads trying to figure out what the hell they have to do. Like, they just got beat by the Celtics, because when you look at the Celtics, you look at these young faces, and then you have old ass Al Horford.
Yeah.
Well, all these guys can put up buckets. All of these dudes can put up buckets. And we've seen Jordan Poole is not capable under pressure to be able to be consistent.
And you don't want to rely on Otto Porter Jr. And I know the man's good. I know he's played a good playoff so far, but you don't want to rely on Otto Porter Jr.
Bro, Give me Pritchard. Give me somebody who doesn't give a fuck where he is, what gym he's in. He's going to give you everything he has. Give me him over Otto Porter Jr. I
Yeah,
don't care what
so-
kind of like give him the 15 minutes and see what he's able to do. Like just everybody on that side. Draymond trying to get in Greg Williams' head as a huge testament to him as a 4. And then after that, you have Al Horford. Then you have Robert Williams, and all 3 of them boys can put up 20 in all different ways. And then you have to worry about the big 2 and the Jays and Jason Brown or Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And then you have Marcus Smart. And after him, that acquisition in February with Devin White was huge.
Yeah, it was. It's
That
getting
boy can
bigger
come
every
in there
single
with
day.
that dude can come in there for 25, 30 minutes and put up 25, 30.
And the defense he's playing on Steph, I know Steph is scoring, but he is making Steph work way too hard.
He's not able to get comfortable in this. He's
Yeah.
not able to get in his rhythm. He's just literally the greatest shooter alive.
Right.
Anybody else, any of the other best shooters out there at any given time, they're going to get flustered. But Steph, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
But so you have Steph, you have Clay, who still is able to give you 25. After that, you have to hope that you can get more.
Yeah.
And even if Steph has to get 35, 40, right? Clay has to get 20. And then you have to hope Wiggins goes off, or you have to hope Poole goes off, or you have to hope Draymond gets more than 2 or 5 points.
Yeah.
Like for that to happen 4 times is literally I'm pretty sure we'd see the clouds part and see Jesus come down before that happened. Because on the other side, on the Celtics, you have Marcus Smart, who's bigger and more physical than Steph is. You have Devin White, who's the same build as Steph, but way more physical on the defensive end and can still put up 25 points at the end of the day. And then you have Pritchard, who can come in, who is way more physical than Steph or Poole, and just a little pit bull chihuahua type guy, but he's way more physical than all of those guys put together. That just that front court right there, for me, it's going to be hell for the Warriors to be able to get 3 more, and they still have 2 more games in Boston.
And then where Wiggins is concerned, Wiggins is used to being more athletic, and Jaylen Brown is the most athletic guy on the court. And so it's really showing.
This is where all the people who looked at Jason Tatum in Game 7, first off, I want to say all these Kobe antics, they're starting to be a little too much. They're going into practice, but seeing the 24 band was awesome because he is a lot like Kobe as far as it comes to scoring. I don't know about his mental, I don't know about his work ethic, but seeing him with the ball on the offensive end, he does remind me a lot of Kobe. He always has. And now people are like, oh shit. Like I think he's literally he saw Twitter. He saw these Twitter fingers, and he's showing these people this killer fadeaway. He's relentless right now. And Wiggins is just not big enough.
No, like I said, Wiggins has relied on being athletic. He went up against Dorian Finney-Smith, who we love, but he's more athletic than him. He goes up against Dylan Brooks, who is pretty athletic, but Wiggins is more athletic than him. There's a reason he was the number 1 pick. So so that's what's going down. And now he's facing Jaylen Brown, who's having a hell of a series, but he's just more athletic. And that's when he was coming in, they were like, we don't know about Jaylen Brown's shot. We don't know about his handles. We don't know about anything, but he's more athletic than anybody else. And then obviously Jason Tatum, who you talked about.
Is he on Jaylen or Jason?
No, I mean, I think on defense, Jaylen is guarding Wiggins, isn't he? Because Jason Tatum's playing small or big.
No, I thought you were talking because I know I've seen on defense.
No, I meant like on offense, Wiggins relies on his athleticism.
Yeah.
And Jaylen Brown is just sticking to him like a fucking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, Wiggins isn't able to do anything on offense or defense.
Yeah.
And he's looking like a lost cause out there. That's why we've seen a lot of Bielitsa.
Nice.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Let's go. We've seen a lot of him. We haven't seen him at all. But now in the finals, we're starting to see a lot more of him because he adds a little bit more length and he's able to do a little bit more. And we've seen with him on the court, Jaylen's getting lost on defense, doing a lot of help defense, not giving a shit. Like when Bielitsa scores, it seems like he's open as shit.
Yeah.
Or like he's getting closed out on by Jaylen. Like, fuck. He's looking like me on 2K. But that's got to be worrisome though, right? Whenever you pay this guy a good bit of money to an extension.
Not really,
Now
because you
you're back
just
in the
reached
finals.
on him, It's whatever.
But now you're back in the finals, and you're like, yes, this is what we signed you for. And he comes out and he's just getting just absolutely shit on after a great Western Conference Finals.
They reached on him. They can still trade him. A lot of teams would grab that guy, so the extension's not hurting them at all. If they don't believe he can work out in the finals, they'll trade him to somebody.
He'd be a
that's
solid backup for you guys.
Well, he'd be a middle of the pack kind of guy, and so many teams would take him. A middle of the pack team would take him. Anybody that's third through
we take
10th in either division, 3rd through 10th seed would take him.
I'll take
and
Wiggins.
I know the Warriors were the
I'd be like, yo, remember when we almost drafted you 1 overall? Come
Get
on
back over here. Yeah. So me and you both went against Vegas. We both said Celtics. You said 6. I said 7, I think. So far, it looks good. So far, our storylines that we put out are working exactly. You gave a really detailed description of what's going to happen, and so far it has happened to a T. We still got 5 more games or 4 more games potentially. But hey, right now, if you would have put odds when we said at the beginning of the season or the beginning of the series, you'd have good chance. So,
I will put, if I could put money on
I wish I was going to Vegas right
an
now.
MVP not being named Jason Tatum, I would. Because even if the Celtics win, Jaylen Brown's got it.
I texted you 2 minutes into game 1 and said Jaylen Brown is going to be finals MVP. And you said, really? And I said, if Jason Tatum keeps playing this bad, then yes.
And he has been.
And so far.
And not even tonight, he didn't even play bad. Jaylen.
Yeah, but Jaylen looked better. Yeah. So I said it right away. And it was only in a text to Seal, so I don't have proof. I mean, I guess I could get the receipts, but
we got receipts.
So it's there. If you guys call me out after he wins the MVP saying that I was Monday morning quarterback, we got receipts. So we're going to get out of here, but I am going to give a big apology. No. I'm going to give an apology to the Oklahoma softball team because while I said that they were going to win the championship, and they will, I said that they won 10-0. I didn't notice that it was only the 3rd inning or 10-1. I didn't notice it was only the 3rd inning when I said that.
Mercy rule.
So they won 16-1. So shout out to Oklahoma. I'm sorry I got your score wrong. It was 16-1 tonight, and I expect them to do the same thing tomorrow, and it will be their championship.
Nice.
So shout out to them, big ones. But you got anybody to shout out before we get out of here?
Oh,
yeah. So shout out to Oklahoma women. Shout out to Brittany Griner. As always, we want you back. And as always, be a stud, not a scrub.